We're here with MGA Director of Rules and Competitions, Brian Mahoney. Brian, can you give us your overall thoughts as we head toward the 57th Ike Championship at Atlantic Golf Club?
Looking forward to our first major of the year. Obviously Atlantic is a tremendous host, a wonderful championship course, and we have an outstanding field of about 120 players that are going to play for 54 holes to determine the champion.
Brian, can you tell us a little bit about this year's field and your overall thoughts about how strong it was coming into this event?
Well, this is one of my favorite things to do every year is do the pairings for a championship, and this year was really special. We had 26 exempt players and really the who's who of amateur golf in our area. With this event, it was nice because we actually had an equal number of New Jersey, Long Island, and Westchester, so we had a nice blend of combinations in the pairings. This year's particularly special. Obviously, the MGA Player of the Year points are coveted, and this is a group that the winner of this could ultimately be kind of vying for that overall crown at the end of the year. But this year with a little bit different wrinkle because one of our former Player of the Year last year, Michael Miller, has obviously been climbing the World Amateur rankings, and this, the Ike Championship, is one of the last events on their point system that is recognized before they hand out exemptions for the U.S. Amateur. So depending on how Michael plays, he could be getting exempt into the U.S. Am.
Yeah, that's terrific about Michael. Can you talk also about just some of the other strong exempt players and even some of the qualifiers who are going to be making up the field on Monday?
A lot of obviously past champions. Last year's champ, Tommy McDonough, past Player of the Year, Joe Saladino, and one player that we haven't seen much of other than on TV and on paper, and Jim Liu. So again, the class of the Met area for sure.
And certainly coming right off the U.S. Open is Cameron Wilson, who will be playing his first tournament back in the Met area since competing at Olympic. And obviously we had some nice feelings with Cameron at Canoebrook to have him qualify there for the U.S. Open.
Yeah, Cameron and Cameron Young as well. I mean, just an amazing group of young players. If you looked at the average age of the field, it's probably about 26, the median being about 21 or 22. So a lot of great young players.
There's obviously something unique with this year's Ike in that you're rerouting the golf course. Can you talk a little bit about the process and the decision making going into that?
Yeah, obviously a tremendous golf course as it's routed, but for us in the MGA, logistically, it did present some challenge. A few things with the Ike. Obviously, we historically have been paired in groups of two, and getting groups of two where they're in 10 or 12-minute intervals is a little bit much, especially with the size of the field. So what we did is we actually took a look at the overhead and wanted to see if there was a way that we could reroute the golf course that would allow us to have a first and 10th tee start near the clubhouse that didn't require this 10 to 15-minute drive out to the 10th tee. And this is obviously critical, not as much for day one, but for day two, where we have 36 holes, a rolling repair, and really have to get people out on the golf course without allocating a lot of staff to do it. So luckily, the golf course itself had been rerouted a couple times over the years, and using one of their variations ended up being a perfect fit for us.
Can you share with us a little bit of the preparation that you and your staff go through working with the club staff at Atlantic to prepare the course at the championship?
The MGA is a little bit different than other state and regional golf associations. We take a lot of time to kind of work with the club and their golf course superintendent, Bob Rainham, to get the golf course where we want it, from managing green speeds to rough cut, and obviously the conditions. We meet with them kind of regularly. About a year ago was the first real prep meeting, and then almost on a monthly basis, and then obviously the weeks leading up just to be right where we need to be.